Okay, go.
Yeah, we've lived in Vandalia since I was 12, since 1966. So, and I've always lived around the airport, more obviously. But when I was delivering the freight, when we're doing the freight, the pilots it was great fun for them. They knew where mom and dad lived, and they lived basically where you would turn for 24 left, where you would turn downwind to base. And they would pull the props in the Twin Beach out of sync when they were over the house to make sure I was awake. Of course, I woke up the whole neighborhood too, those old radial motors. And then I'd come and deliver the freight. And that was really a big stepping stone in my career, because Bob and Gwen saw somebody, a young person, who would be willing to take the responsibility to get up any time and do the job. So that was part of my dispatch duties too, besides dispatching during the day. But they were very, very kind to me. They were good mentors. Still, Bob Sr. is still a very good mentor to me. I think I helped them through some tough periods of transitions when their son left and their daughter was coming and that whole deal. And it was a sad day. Gwen died a couple years ago, and she was a pistol. But for me, growing up around Vandalia, you're always around airplanes. Had an interest in airplanes. I went to Morton Junior High School, which used to sit right here, and I've spent a lot of hours in the study hall staring out the window at the airport, never dreaming that someday the business I would own would be about 300 yards from where I used to stare out the window at the business that I own. So people say, oh, you've come far, you've done real well, and I always say, is it really that far? Is it really that far?
Right.
But I have no complaints. It's been a good business, and hopefully we'll continue on.
When you were a kid, so that was when the jets were just starting to come into
Yeah, when I was a kid, it's all about, and you and I are the same age, so
Yeah.
it's all about World War II airplanes. It's all about going to the museum, and then we'd come out here, and on Sundays, like a lot of other people did, and we'd park, we'd get an ice cream cone. And we'd park and watch the airplanes land. That was it. As a teenager, growing up at the airport was a great place to hang out. You could walk in the terminal and walk up on a date. You could take a date to the terminal and walk up on the viewing deck, and you just walked in and went to the viewing deck.
Right.
So yeah, so being a local, and then of course I was always working at the Grand American,
Right.
Was great. A lot of kids came up to pump gas like I did. A lot of kids I went to high school with worked at Skyways. A lot of them worked here, going pumping gas and going on to other things. A lot of them went on to flying careers. That's one of the other things that I'm very proud of, is I've known a lot of people that, starting out, they were my peers. They were guys that when we had the charter department were my age, and I was the dispatcher. And then as I gone on, we ended up hiring pilots, and so many of them have gone on for great careers in the business. So, and they stay in touch, some, you know. Sometimes it's only by the Unicom when they're flying over, and I'll hear somebody say, hey, asshole. And, I know who it is.
That's right.
Yep.